The Xbox LIX is probably the best handheld device on the market, but unfortunately, it comes without any accessories and a lot of software issues. So today I'm going to show you 3 must-have accessories that are cheap but extremely valuable. Then I'll explain how to fix catastrophic Windows mistakes that can crash your device. And last but not least, I'll teach you shortcuts and button combinations to access hidden features. Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Since this video is kind of a holiday special, let's say you found an LIX under the Christmas tree. Which is great news, since right now this is the best handheld PC you could wish for. So you get excited, you lift up the cover, and then you realize this thing comes without a carry case. Which is a big bummer, because the point of having a portable gaming device is to have it on the go with you. Therefore, selling the LIX without the most important accessory that would allow this makes no sense. So in your disappointment, you hit up the Asus store just to realize that the official carry case for the LIX costs $70, which is extremely overpriced, and on top of that, it is either out of stock or straight up unavailable in most countries. In this case, pun intended, the best thing you can do is to find an alternative, which is exactly what I did. So I got my case for exactly $8 from China.
China?
And to be honest with you, I really love it.
China. I love them. China.
This is a sleek and low-profile hardshell case, so it's easy to carry, but still, it provides protection from impacts. If you'd like to Google it, here's a screenshot, but you won't find any links in the description because I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just simply giving you guidance so you can make the most out of your LIX experience. And as an exchange, I only ask you to like this video. So when you're looking for a case, my biggest recommendation is to pick one that can also double down as a tabletop stand, so it can hold the device at an angle in case you'd like to watch a movie or use it as a secondary screen besides your laptop. This way you don't have to carry an extra dedicated desk stand or install these weird looking legs on the back of your device. And just because my carry case is so fantastic, I very often bring my LIX on trips instead of bringing my full-size laptop, because in tight spaces like an airplane, this is much more convenient to use. Another must-have accessory on any handheld device, but especially on the LIX, is a screen protector, because the external layer of the 7-inch touchscreen is actually not glass, but a much softer plastic material that scratches very easily. The second big downside of this screen out of the box is that it collects fingerprints like crazy, which kind of amplifies the scratch gate issue, because the more a screen collects fingerprints, the more you have to wipe it. But if you wipe your screen all the time, you also increase the chance of scratching it. My recommendation here is to find a screen protector that is non-reflective, especially if you'd like to use your LIX on the go, because most glass screen protectors can literally turn this into a mirror. So I got one that is made of hydrogel. And fun fact, I got mine installed by an official Asus employee who did such a precise job that you can't even tell that this screen has a protector on it. The other big advantage of hydrogel, besides being non-reflective, is that it doesn't collect fingerprints. So I truly hit 2 flies with one swing, and if you take a close look, you can see that it already blocked some damage. The third and final accessory that you do not actually need but should consider is an upgraded charger. And the reason why I'm saying this, because the original charger from Asus is just a cheap generic laptop charger. This means that you cannot detach the USB cable from the power brick. And if you'd like to take the LIX on a trip, you are better off with an adapter that can actually charge multiple devices and the USB cable that detaches from the adapter, so you can store it easily and also use it as a data cable. And now that we are done with the accessories, it's time to talk about critical issues with Windows 11 and how to fix or avoid them, because just like always, Microsoft didn't fail to disappoint. Maybe if they spent less time on Epstein Island and more time on development, the situation would be better. But all jokes aside, I genuinely think that Microsoft has a policy to make the user experience as toxic as humanly possible, because it's hard to believe that the unending crap they do is not intentional. For example, there's a bug within the Microsoft login server that can shut down your entire account for 2 days when you try to log in from the LIX. This issue has been present since the day of release, and as far as I know, it is still not fixed. So, how to avoid it? The first time you power on your Xbox LIX, it will start setting up Windows, and it will ask you to log into your Microsoft account, which is necessary to access the Xbox game launcher. And when you get to this point, it is very important to have a passkey activated on another non-Microsoft device, like an iPhone for example, because the passkey is the only way you can log into the Xbox LIX. If you try to log in with your Microsoft username and password, the login server will automatically label it as a security breach and shut down your entire account for 2 days every time you try it. And of course, because I'm a dummy, I tried it 3 times and I could not use my Microsoft account for 6 days, which sounds dumb as hell, but I guess in 2025, this is how we do it. So now that you're logged in, you would assume that everything is cool and now you can go ahead and play some video games. Well, unfortunately, you are far from the truth, because the real Microsoft freak show is just about to begin. Because the second critical Microsoft mistake specific to the LIX is that one of the very first motherboard firmware updates will make you lose access to the USB ports, so you won't be able to charge the device until you install the fix. For this reason, you should have your battery fully charged before you start installing any updates, because you'll need to have enough juice to download the next patch that fixes the issue. And despite its name, the ROG Xbox LIX is actually not a true collaboration between Asus and Microsoft, because you actually need to download these updates from 2 separate locations. The first one is Microsoft's update menu, which we all know and love, and the second one is called Armory Crate. And the reason why I said that this is not a true collaboration between Microsoft and Asus is that we have clear signs that Microsoft is trying to sink the ship. Meanwhile, Asus is trying to keep it afloat. So in the future, if an update from Microsoft crashes your LIX, you should head over to the Armory Crate, because chances are that they already have something that fixes the problem. In my opinion, it is very disappointing that the Windows experience is such garbage, because without these painful mistakes, the LIX would be a fantastic piece of hardware. It is powerful enough to function not only as a handheld PC, but also as a traditional gaming console when you plug it into a television, or as a full-size desktop computer when you connect it to a monitor. However, the first time you plug the LIX into an external screen, you're in for a big surprise, because as soon as you make the connection, the built-in screen goes completely dark, so you won't be able to use the touchscreen unless you duplicate your screen. But ever since the touchscreen gets blacked out when you make the connection, you won't be able to use it to dupe your screen, and your only option is to use a specific button combination, which is Modifier X. If you press these 2 buttons together, it will open up your COS settings when you can duplicate your screen and regain access to the touch features, to browse the web, type on your keyboard, and so on. And no, unfortunately, we don't have a setting that would allow us to dupe our screen by default, which means that you need to use the Modifier X combination every time you connect your LIX to an external screen. And if you're already on a large display, you probably need to use your pointer, and for a long time I believed that this was not possible without connecting an actual mouse, but later I realized that if I press the dedicated button for the Armory Crate menu, there is a shortcut called Control Mode, and if I change it to desktop, that would allow me to use the right joystick as a built-in mouse without connecting an actual physical mouse. And if you take a close look, the same menu also has a shortcut that opens the keyboard in case you wanted to type anything. However, you can also open the keyboard with another button combination, which goes Modifier plus D-pad up. But of course, to take advantage of the keyboard, you first need to dupe your screen so you can actually touch it and type. And when it comes to this keyboard, I must say that Microsoft managed to screw up the typing experience on this device completely, because whenever you try to copy-paste something into an input field, it is not possible by touching the field like it would be possible on a smartphone, for example. The only way to paste something into a field is to open the large version of the digital keyboard and then press down the Ctrl+V keyboard combination, which on a touchscreen makes zero sense. And on top of this weird quirk, the Ctrl key is not even available on the keyboard that Microsoft gives us by default, and to access it we need to tweak some settings. Alright, so here's another big issue with the Ally X. I just put it to sleep like 5 or 10 minutes ago, and now I'm trying to wake it up. I'm pressing the power button and nothing happens. Obviously the device is fully charged and I also plugged it into the outlet and nothing happens. And the weirdest thing is that the device is on because I can feel the fans going, like there is an airflow, I feel it with my palm. And yeah, it's just dead, man. And the thing I have to do now is to press this button for like 10 seconds. And this is okay, this is the forced reset that I just did. Alright, so you saw the LED, it started blinking. Let's try to turn it, and now it switches on. Bro, Windows is just a piece of crap, man. And I genuinely think that Microsoft should come and fix Windows 11, especially on this device, because many things on the UI doesn't make any sense. For example, the engineers at Microsoft, managed to add 5 separate volume rockers to the interface. There is one on the Armory Crate tab, then there's another one on the Settings tab, a third one on the Audio tab, a fourth one in the bottom right corner, and then there's the fifth one in the form of 2 physical buttons on the top of the frame. And ever since the interface is extremely over-engineered, the different layers can overlap with one another and cause weird glitches. For example, here is the one when the keyboard collapses, so I cannot type anything, and the only way I could fix this issue was to reboot my device. I'm pointing out these mistakes because in my opinion they can genuinely confuse the hell out of new users, and since the Ally X just got released a couple of short weeks ago, pretty much everyone counts as a new user. With all that said, I hope my video gave you useful information, and if it did, please hit like and also subscribe if you wanna see more videos coming with the Ally X. Also, if you have an interesting cool gadgets that can travel with you, I invite you to check out my foldable drone or my unbreakable action camera. I reviewed the DJI Flip drone in Szczecin, Poland, which is one of the most beautiful European cities I've ever been to. And I unboxed the Action 5 Pro camera in Lima, Peru, where I climbed up to the tippy top of a huge cliff to film this gorgeous sunset. Thank you for sticking around all the way, and I'll see you in the next one.